Please call.
Adams.
Here.
Bartlett.
Here.
Cook. Hopkins. Odell.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Wampel. Here. Wormowski.
Here.
Williams. Ezra.
Here.
Beard.
Here.
Just a couple quick notes. I think everybody's very aware that we're going to have a memorial wall in downtown remembering the fallen, which starts on Thursday. So aldermen are always invited to the events. Sarah Hatala asked for me to make sure you guys know. I know there's a ribbon cutting at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. And then there's a laying of the wreath ceremony at 6 o'clock that night, and then the business after hours at 5 o'clock on Friday night. And there's a lot more stuff, so if you see it in the paper, you're always more than welcome. It's pretty neat that we got this in town, and the last one was a big hit, so more to come on that. Judy Ty wanted me to let you know that the Historic Preservation Commission in Jacksonville Main Street, they've obtained a CLG grant for $5,000 to assist with the creation of residential and commercial design guidelines. This 7,200 project runs through the Historic Preservation Commission, the Division of DNR, and will fulfill a long time goal of what the organizations want to do as far as preservation. So if you have any questions for Judy, that's something that's been on their radar for a long time, so we appreciate Judy's help on that. And that's all I had in the mayor's report. City Attorney's report.
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to add one item on the executive session. It's also going to be discussing personnel matter as well as land acquisition. One item I have is discuss agreement with the National Benevolent Association. The National Benevolent Association owns a lot of lots out at Diamond Grove Cemetery. And Mr. Carpenter is here if anybody has any questions for what I'm going to say here. For many years, we've been in discussions with National Benevolent Association, and prior to that, Martin Stone Christian Home and so forth, to work out an arrangement with them. They didn't need all their lots, but it was a question of whether they were going to sell them back to the city, donate them to the city, or what was going to happen. National Benevolent has reached an agreement with the, get this right here, the Jacksonville Association of Pastors?
Jacksonville area senior
chaplain.
Senior chaplaincy care.
Yes, okay. And the Board of Managers of Jacksonville Cemeteries to arrange a transfer of these burial spaces. There's 69 lots containing 276 burial spaces to the city. Only about 236 of them can be used because other ones are either short spaces or they have plantings or trees, whatever on them, with the idea that the city would be allowed to sell 60% of those lots and retain 40% of the lots for use for indigent burials, working with the Chaplaincy Center, first of all, to try and cover those indigent burials through the nursing homes and then any other indigent burials there may be. It brings to a conclusion some long discussions between the Cemetery Board and National Benevolent, prior to that Martin Stone and so forth, and it is a very good arrangement and frees up many spaces out there. If you know where it is, it's towards the west end, about in the middle of Diamond. Middle, towards the west end, I guess is the better way to say it, of Diamond Road. Anyone have any questions on that? If not, we've got an agreement approving this arrangement with then the Board of Managers of the cemetery signing off on the agreement. But since it's coming to the city has to give its approval. Any questions? You want to add anything?
Just to say that the decision on who would qualify for indigent burials will really be decided by the Board of the Cemetery Board in consultation with funeral homes.
Yes.
The chaplaincy would really not be a part of that unless they're asked to help in some way.
Very good.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you. Any public comment at this time? motion to go into executive session.
That's to discuss land acquisition and personnel matter.
Make a motion, go into
Alderman.
executive session.
Alderman Large Old Nettle, second by Alderman Adams. We will go into exec session, I'm sorry.
Hold on a minute, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anyway, Monday, Tuesday, I gotta go have class. Wednesday, take it to next one.
And I'd like for the clerk to please call roll, please.
Adams.
Here.
Bartlett. Cook. Hopkins. Odenental.
Here.
Scott. Here. Wonkel.
Here.
Wormowski. Here. Williams. Ezzard.
Here.
City Attorney Beard.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Very good. Is there a reading of the minutes this evening? Alderman Bartlett? Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Aaron Scott? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Presentation of petitions
We have no petitions.
and any communications?
We have one communication from the Jacksonville Area Chamber of Commerce in partnership with the Passaman Area Hospital, the Me Aware Foundation, and Alzheimer's Association. They want to hold a Be Aware Wellness Fair walk on Saturday, September 7th, 8 o'clock to noon. The walk and the wellness fair will begin at 8 a.m. and run from 10 to noon. That'll be at Community Park. They've done this, I don't know how many years they've done the very same thing. So we'll notify the street department. Any questions, any issues? We'll get that taken care of. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any claims tonight? No claims? City Attorney's report.
Thank you. I have one item, the resolution approving the agreement with the National Benevolent Association.
Is there a motion for that? Alderman Large Old Nettle, second by Alderman Scott.
Be it resolved that the agreement between the Board of Managers of the Cemeteries of the City of Jacksonville and the Jacksonville Area Senior Chaplaincy Care, Inc. Is hereby approved, dealing with the lots previously owned by National Benevolent Association at Diamond Grove Cemetery.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'd ask the clerk to please call roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Bartlett. Yes. Odenental.
Yes.
Scott. Yes. Wonkel.
Yes.
Wormowski.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Is there any public comment at this time? Kyle, you sure? All right. Consent agenda items tonight, finance, IT, and personnel. I will call on Alderman Large Old Nettle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have two items. The first item is City Treasurer's Report and a resolution approving loan extension for CCK Automations.
In utility, Alderman Wonkel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One item tonight. Resolution authorizing payments from Waterworks and Sewerage Project Fund for services rendered improvement projects, and I so move.
Is there a second? Alderman Large Old Nettle. You've heard the items under the consent agenda. Is there any you wish to pull for further discussion? Seeing none, I would ask the clerk to please
Actually,
call roll.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just say something on the finance, on the loan for CCK.
Yes.
It came through the administration as something we should do, and I thought that when the loan was first given out, it was to retain a company to town, and it was for a certain time period. So at this point, we have that money that we could put into another project, which I just want to make sure, I guess the thought is that we don't have any other projects that we want to use that money to attract businesses to town. So we're just going to use that money for retention for CCK. So I didn't really hear anything from the community after the first meeting, so I'm fine with voting for it.
Very good. I would ask the clerk to please call roll.
Bartlett. Yes. Odenenel.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Wankel.
Yes.
Formowski. Yes. Adams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, committee reports tonight. Public protection. And Mr. Hopkins isn't here, so I'll take this one. Presentation of the Citizens of Police Academy. And we got some smiling faces here in our audience. Would Chief Mefford please step up and,
If you don't mind, could we wait just a few minutes? We have a few
Yep.
more people that are coming. I didn't know that we'd be moving along as quick tonight, and so we told everybody about 7 o'clock. So
I've got a couple of jokes and I'd be happy to tell them right now.
if we could just have about 5 minutes to make sure everybody gets here.
Yes.
With that looming, I make a motion, we take a recess.
Yeah, you don't want to hear my jokes. We'll just move forward. Any old business tonight? I told the council earlier that, let's see, Thursday, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the Remembering Our Fallen since 9/11/2001. There's quite a big slate downtown. There's going to be a wall. I'm sure I'm sure these folks out here are probably going to be active in this. But the ribbon cutting's on Thursday. There's a wreath laying ceremony on that night at 6. Then the business after hours on Friday, but there's a lot of things going on this weekend downtown. What else? Ron Smoljanik, you got anything for me? Alan? No. Steve?
Actually, bringing up from a previous meeting, we had Dr. Charles Schief came in and gave a presentation on the Jacksonville Promise, and he was expecting us to take a vote at this meeting to donate money to that organization for the scholarships, especially because Dot Foods, the Tracy Family Foundation, has a matching grant that's coming up, and the deadline is in September. So were we going to do that at a meeting, or was there a number we were going for donating, or what
Well,
was?
I
what
know
happened?
Dr. Schief's wanting, I think the Jacksonville Promise folks are wanting $10,000. Last year we did $1,000, and I delayed it because there's only 6 aldermen here tonight, and Dr. Schief was good with that. I think he's fine with doing something on the first meeting in September. We don't have that money budgeted for 10 grand. It's not to say we can't come up with it, but we have $1,000 available, and it's just kind of up to the council. I mean, I think the Jacksonville Promise is a very good program. If you follow the Kalamazoo, Michigan Promise, it's not government money, it's private. That's not to say we can't throw government money into it, but obviously it's nice to keep our students in Jacksonville and go to Lincoln Land and IC in McMurray, and they do great work, but that's going to be at the next meeting. So I would encourage the aldermen, if they have any questions for Dr. Schief, to reach out to him. He sent a email months and months ago wanting more money, and we're at this point where we need to let him know. So
It's interested tomorrow at 5 at Lincoln Land. There's a
Yes.
presentation for
The
scholarship recipients.
the 4th class of the Jacksonville Promise will be at Lincoln Land tomorrow night, so it'll be a nice evening. Mr. Sisney, do you have anything to say?
Not
No, not yet? Okay. All right. Alan? You have
just
something?
gonna tag on with the other, on 9/11, that Tuesday, Patriots Day, there will be 2 programs, one at noon on the downtown plaza, recognizing first responders, and then one at 6, downtown plaza, recognizing, our patriots. So invite the council to attend those events if they're able to.
Very good, thank you. No. Well, we can take a short recess if you'd like. I don't really have any jokes. I mean, they're not, I better not.
That's Wednesday, the 11th.
Bingo. Yeah. We will not start. Now that the deputy mayors Ada Mitchell and Prudy Ballard are here, we can resume the meeting. And the floor is turned to Chief Mefford.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're here tonight to recognize our Citizens Police Academy volunteers in police service and give them their recognition awards for 2018. I know we're in 2019, so that's not a misspeak, but these are their recognition awards for their time and their volunteer service from 2018. So I would like to introduce to Mayor Ezard, the City Council, and our distinguished guests in the audience, the members of the Jacksonville Citizens Police Academy, volunteers in police service. Tonight, we would like to honor them for their dedication and service to the Jacksonville community. If you've been to a community event, you've probably seen our VIPs. They have dedicated their time to so many events that I could not even begin to list them all, but I will highlight some. Almost every parade in town, the 4th of July, the Morgan County Fair, park patrols, plaza patrols, traffic controls, school traffic control, Citizens Police Academy, Teen Police Academy, festivals, concerts, fundraisers, you name it, they've probably assisted with it in this community. They have literally volunteered in the rain, sleet, snow, and extreme heat. Our recognition tonight is the least we can do for this outstanding group. So what I'm going to do tonight is there's going to be 3 different groups we're going to recognize, and we're going to recognize them by their hours of service. So what I'm going to ask is that as your name is called, we hold the applause, and that each one of you from that group remain standing up here for a photograph until we've announced everybody in that group's name. So I would also like to ask Brock Lewis, Olivia Mefford, and Lauren Hamilton to come forward. They are the coordinators of our VIPs in our Citizens Police Academy, and they will be assisting with handing out the awards as we go through them tonight. Ready? So our first group tonight that we're going to recognize with a Jacksonville Service Award certificate for those volunteering between 10 and 99 hours of service for year 2018. Our first recognition is Roseanne Hamilton, and she completed 13 and a half hours of service. Our second is Bernie Hoagland, and she completed 14 hours of service. Rebecca Peacock completed 14 hours of service. Chuck and Heather Kropp both completed 14 and a half hours of service. Roy Mall completed 17 hours of service. Ralph Tucker completed 24 hours of service. Jane Zachary completed 24 hours of service. Carl Moran completed 25 hours of service. Ken Mansell completed 25 and a half hours of service. Christina Moran completed 27 hours of service. Kathy Mansell completed 33 hours of service. Michael Bellino completed 33 and a half hours of service. Ada Mitchell, 34 hours of service. Mona Tucker, 34.5 hours of service. Alan Bradish, 41.5 hours of service. Roger Davis, 42.5 hours of service. Prudy Ballard, 48 hours of service. Marty Oliver, 60 hours of service. Jim Welch, 71 hours of service. Nancy Stump, 78.5 hours of service. And then the last in this group, Kathy Mall, completed 93 hours of service. So if we could we get the council members to kind of get in behind our group here for the first group picture? I'm going to ask you to do this 2 more times, so if we could get everybody to kind of squeeze in for this group photo. There you go. Kyle, when you can get everybody in, just let me know. Now if we get a nice round of applause for this group. Do you have the medals? You didn't take them out of the thing? Please. Just take them out of that package. Oh, I see what you did. Never mind. Okay. All right, the second group will be recognized tonight with the President's Volunteer Service Award Certificate for volunteering between 100 and 124 hours for year 2018. Our first is Dave Mumford with 103.5 hours of volunteer service. Jody Welch with 107.5 hours of service. And Russ Carr with 117 hours of service. And if we could get a picture with this group as well.
Make it easier, make it as well.
It's all right.
Thank you.
And the last group that we'll be recognizing tonight will be recognized with the President's Volunteer Service Award Certificate and something new we've started this year, the Jacksonville Police Department Medal of Service. This award goes to those individuals who have volunteered over 125 hours of service to the community. And I think you'll see when you start reading some of these hours how dedicated all of the individuals have been, but this group has really put the work in. So, the final group, Jim Oliver, 142.5 hours of service.
Thank you, sir.
Tom Sisney, 148 hours. Judy Sisney, 152 hours. Cindy Bedingfield with 209.5 hours. Everett Bedingfield with 216.5 hours. And Bill Martell with 232.5 hours. The individuals that we've recognized here tonight volunteered a combined total of 2,211 and a half hours for the city of Jacksonville in 2018, which equals a total of over $53,000 in overtime saved by the city by their volunteer service. I would like to say thank you to each of our VIPs for their dedication to the Jacksonville Police Department and their community, and thank you for coming tonight so we could recognize you for all your hard work. And that concludes the presentation I have. If anybody would like to say anything, you have the floor. Did I force you into it?
No. I would just like to thank our mayor and our chief for the support that we have. We couldn't do this without their support. And everybody here knows that, so we appreciate that, so.
So, any new business? Huh? You sure you can go back up there, Mr. Sisty? They do have one. All right, see, I knew it. I love it.
They all got an invite, right? You all got an invite to our Policeman's Ball, November 9th. We'd like to see you there.
Are you guest speaker this year?
No,
All right.
no.
You haven't announced that
Who is
yet?
our guest speaker? What's his name?
I can tell.
Yes, you do that.
Our guest speaker this year is kind of going to be a treat. He was the Police Academy commander at the Illinois State Police when I went through the academy. So he's going to come talk about his experiences as the Police Academy commander. And his name's Chris Tracy. He's a retired lieutenant from the state police.
Very nice. Good. Looking forward to that. November 9th. All right. Okay, any other new business, council? Thanks for all coming tonight. We really appreciate it, and thanks for your service. If I would have known this many people were going to be here, I would have had some cookies and punch or something, but I'm sorry about that. But next year, I promise you I'll have some cookies and punch for you all. We appreciate your help. Yes, we do. So yes, Alan?
Before we go, could we have just a moment of silence for Illinois State Trooper Nicholas Hopkins, who was shot and killed while issuing a warrant in St. Louis this past week. He left a wife, a set of twins of 4 years old, and a daughter of 1 year old behind. So if we could have a moment of silence. Thank you. We never
Thank
know
you.
what's behind that door when our officers go to respond to a call. We always hope and pray that they'll come back safe.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn tonight? Alderman Wonkel, seconded by Alderman Bartlett. We are adjourned. Thank you.